Hello and welcome to Juicy Scoop. I have such a good show for you. I'm going to get into some hot, juicy topics, and then I'm going to get to the juiciest interview with Dr. Drew and Susan Pinsky that we filmed in Cabo and his wife of almost 30 years. And it is a very inspiring and funny love story that will give you guys all hope. So, full show for you today. Let's get into The Bachelor. As you know, Claire, the oldest Bachelorette, has left the show because she fell in love with Dale, the former wide receiver NFL player. Let me tell you a little tip. I was with John Ryan, who is a Super Bowl winner married to Sarah Colonna. And according to him, he says none of the guys that are currently former football players, professional football players, ever played in one NFL game. Now, if he's wrong, okay, so be it. But he said he did his research and they never have ever played an official NFL game. Who cares? But I just thought that was juicy. So they have a little meeting before Tasha comes with Claire. Tasha, before Tasha comes. Claire is now been in quarantine with the love of her life, Dale, and they sit down with Chris Harrison. And I have never witnessed a couple so in love. Well, actually, I was just talking about Susan and Drew Pinsky. They have a very intense love affair that's very evident when you sit with them and hang out with them still to this day. But she is so in love with Dale. And he says he's in love with her too. And he seems in love with her. But I've never seen a girl express it that much. It's a little scary as a viewer. I'm a little bit scared if this does not work out for the rest of their lives. What could happen to this person? So please, Dale, that's a lot of pressure for Dale too. The entire world is counting on Dale not to break Claire's heart. So I hope that they get pregnant real soon. I hope she is done her modern fertility. I hope that she is boning every other day for 10 days after her period. I just get pregnant, girl. Get that baby so that you have some tie to Dale for the rest of your life, hopefully, because this is what she is living for. It's a little disturbing in a way. Kind of sweet and then kind of scary. Okay, so now we've got the beautiful Tasha, and she joins. She's real fun. She's real pretty and got a great bod. And I just want to say now, this next section of the series is all still done at La Quinta, because of quarantine and this big, beautiful resort. It's 120 degrees every single day. And it is very produced, and it has to be because they can't go travel the world. They can't go to restaurants. They can't have a country singer come in and sing and go on whatever. So, they like one date is it's them going on horseback riding, but around La Quinta Resort. Like there's just nothing to do. And there's a couple funny things. Oh, shit. I forgot one thing that I just wrote out. Notes. Hold on. There's a piece of paper that I wrote with all these notes down. It's like a lined piece of paper. Sorry about that. Thank you. Okay. Okay, ready. Okay, so a couple things about this. By the way, I think everybody that's putting a yearbook together now, or maybe you're doing it for your kid, there definitely should be a category most likely to be on The Bachelor or Bachelorette. I'm sure some of them do, but you should definitely have that. Okay, I feel like the producers are working overtime because it's just, she goes on a date with this one guy and he's like, I was married before. And she's like, I was married before. And that was like a one-on-one date. And I just feel like the producers are really working this. And then as they're doing before the rose ceremony, the final cocktail party, like one guy takes her outside and is like, I want to take you to Paris one day. And there's this big like Eiffel Tower that they just brought in and like sat there. And this one guy who's Korean, he shares a bowl of noodles with her. It's just waiting there and they just have to eat noodles together. Like it is so ridiculous. And then these two other guys have a big problem. Ed, gets accused by Chasen, who's pretty cute. And Chasen goes, you have chicken legs. And Ed is like, well, you are using the same adjectives to describe Tasha as you did Claire. Energetic, you feel like you're on cloud nine, come up with some new words. And then Chasen's like, okay, the next day he's like, and I came up with a new word to describe Tasha. It's It's a smoke show. Yeah, that's it. She's a smoke show. Tayshia's a smoke show. And they, they do all their dumb little games of like who's a grown ass man, and then they all get oiled up, which is pretty gay, which I liked. And they start wrestling each other, just slipping around in hot wet oil, and it's a little slow, but I do like her, and I'm excited for it. And then there's this one guy named Zach, and he's a recovery specialist, and he's 36, and he's like the therapist of the show, because this one guy is all about to cry, and he goes, "I still love Claire, so I think I have to leave, Tayshia. I'm just like not that into you." And so she's like, "Ah, shit. I knew I was coming in after Claire. Like now I don't feel great about myself." Anyway, it's not a lot of drama. They're doing the best they can, um, with like staying in the hotel and 120 degrees. I'm still watching. We'll see what happens. I would kind of be shocked if she ends up in love in the end. That's my prediction. All right, now let me get into the newest show everyone's talking about. This is Real Housewives Wives of Salt Lake City. And they are a different bunch. They all appear to have a lot of money, which is what we like. But the juiciest part of it is this girl, Mary, who married her step grandfather. She's not Mormon. She's part of this Pentecostal church. And so her connection was her mother's mother married a man. So that man was her mother's stepfather. Her grandmother, her mom's mom, died. And then the step grandfather said that his wife wanted him to marry this girl, the granddaughter. But I figure Mary's about 50, and she says they've been together 21 years. If I'm missing some facts on this, let me know. Anyway, she and her mother, the mother was very upset that her stepfather married her daughter, and she left the church. This is all like rumor mill, Reddit, whatever. But definitely this girl married her step-grandfather, and they run this big church together. And, it's always so interesting with these big churches because it's so different than what I experienced in the Catholic Church, where no one can get married and you take a vow of poverty. But it's so interesting that these people are like showing off their cars and their, expensive purses. And you're like, do you really want to go to mass and like give someone $100? Knowing that you're going to see them at Neiman Marcus, like buying a $4,000 bag. I just think it's like the weirdest thing. But hey, that's the majority of, I guess, parishes and churches. Well, they call them churches, but whatever. I think it's strange. But this makes for a good show. And that you're like, seeing your preacher on The Real Housewives. Like you're watching the person that's going to preach to you on Bravo. And one of the fights that's happening is that she said that this one girl, came to give her a hug one day after visiting her aunt in the hospital. And Mary said, she smelled like hospital, and I just can't be around anyone who smells like a hospital. And then this woman is like, how dare you, that my aunt had just had both her legs amputated. I'm sorry that I smelled like a hospital after I'd been with her for a day. And she goes, well, the point is I can't take a hospital smell. And you smell like hospital, and I didn't like you hugging me smelling like a hospital. That's who's preaching every Sunday, okay, that girl, with her husband / step-grandfather. But people are shocked. How could you marry your step-grandfather? Well, oh wait, let's get back to this. This story is one that's been around for a while, and I want to explain it to you. This is Morgan Freeman. You obviously recognize him, the famous Oscar-winning actor. This is his step-granddaughter. So I'm going to just explain this story. So in 2009, the National Enquirer said that there was a romantic affair going on between them. In 2012, Morgan Freeman denied it and denied that there was rumors that he was in fact wanting to marry Adina. This is Adina. Now, here is the story behind it. I wrote these notes yesterday. It's so confusing. So Morgan Freeman married this woman, Jeanette, okay? And she had a daughter named Dina. So he became Dina's stepfather. Then they got divorced, okay? He adopted Dina. Okay, adopted Dina. She had Adina. Dina had Adina, the granddaughter. He divorces Jeanette, and then he marries this other one, Myrna, but he and Myrna raise Adina, essentially his granddaughter, his step-granddaughter. They raise her as like their own. I don't know why Dina couldn't, but I guess she couldn't. He then divorces Myrna of 25 years. He and Myrna raised Adina as their own, but it is a step-granddaughter. Then the affair starts to happen, supposedly. And the reason they thought that was in fact happened is that she had told people, and she had told her boyfriend that she was having grandpa feelings, that she had mentioned that she was with her Morgan. There were all these people that believed it to be true, though they both denied it. And then very tragically, that same boyfriend murdered her while he was on PCH. Is it PCH? PCP? He was on some crazy drug and murdered her in the street, stabbing her. And when he went to trial, which he did get convicted of it came out that these were maybe, I guess, the things that sparked him to go crazy. And it was that she was, in fact, having an inappropriate relationship with her step-grandfather. Not only was it her, I almost think this story is worse than the one from Salt Lake City, because he, in fact, like raised her. Well, Woody Allen, Kelly just mentioned Woody Allen. He was raising his daughter, essentially his stepdaughter, but also adopted from his wife. I mean, it's just so weird that you were raised in the same home. But again, going back to the girl Mary, she wasn't raised by her step-grandfather, but he was definitely in her life as a child, being that he was the stepfather to her mother. Fucking weird, and I'm here for it. So you guys, I am wearing a Hooker Light shirt on my YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel where you get all this plus more of videos and fun with my guests. And you got to order the merch now if you want to get it for yourself and for your friends and family by Christmas. Everything is at heathermcdonald.net. You click on store and pod swag and order any size, any of the styles you want in any size that you need. And also, you guys, of course, Patreon. I'm going to have a real juicy Patreon tomorrow up with even more about my crazy week with these celebrities in Cabo. So make sure you're subscribed to that. And you just go to patreon.com/juicyscoop, or again, just go to heathermcdonald.net for everything. Thank you so much